All right, for problems number 3 and 4, you'll notice that your variable is not by itself like it was in 1 and 2. We need to first get the variable by itself. So remember, we're doing order of operations backwards. In problem number 3, if you're trying to get the x squared by itself, what is your first step? Hopefully you're thinking what I'm thinking. We want to subtract 5 from both sides. So we're going to get x squared equals 41 minus 5 is 36. So that's step 1. Step 2, again, we want to just get x by itself. We don't want it to be x squared. We want it to just be x. So if we take the square root of both sides, the square root and the squared part cancel each other out, and we just get x equals what multiplies by itself to get us 36. Now, so far, every number we've been dealing with is a perfect square. But remember, if you don't have your perfect squares memorized, just try to break 36 down into a number multiplied by itself. So 6 times 6 gets us 36. So that means the square root of 36 is positive 6. What other number could multiply by itself to get us a positive 36? Hopefully you're seeing a pattern here. Also negative 6. So in problem number 3, x can be positive 6 and negative 6. Number 4, we want to get k by itself. What is in front of the k? In our way right now? That negative 5, right? We are currently multiplying k squared by negative 5. So to undo multiplication, we divide both sides by negative 5. So we get k squared equals negative 4, because 20 divided by negative 5 is a negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 5 is a positive 20. All right, to get the k by itself now, we would want to take the square root of both sides. The square root and the squared part cancel each other out, so we just get k equals. And then we want to think, what number multiplies by itself to give us a negative 4? So a lot of you are probably thinking negative 2. But remember, what's a negative times a negative? A positive 4. And then a positive 2 times a positive 2 is still a positive 4. So there's no number we can multiply by itself to get us a negative 4. If we do a positive 2 times a negative 2, that's not the same number, right? Those have different signs out front. So there's no number we can multiply by itself to get a negative. That's not possible. So for right now in Algebra 1, we're going to say there's no solution. There's no number you can multiply by itself to get a negative number. So you cannot take the square root of a negative number. That is not possible. As you move on in math, you're going to learn about this thing that's called I. I stands for an imaginary number. And an imaginary number is the square root of negative 1. We are not going to go into that at all in Algebra 1. We are going to stick with the basics. So we are going to say there is no number that multiplies by itself to get us any negative number. So anytime we're taking the square root of a negative number in Algebra 1, there is no solution. There's no number you can multiply by itself to get a negative number.